Okay, so today's Tuesday, January 15th. We're looking at lesson 70 on volume. Volume is very simple to explain, and we're probably going to revisit this lesson again on Thursday. So today I spent a lot of time stressing to the girls the importance of valuing your math time and making your study time valuable and making it worthwhile by putting value to math right now. Because I'm not very happy with the way that we're heading with our math. Even in sixth grade, we're falling apart very quickly. I think it's because we're doing the quizzes so often, and 3 questions on a quiz. If you miss one, you failed the quiz. So everybody's missing one question here or there, and your grades aren't very good, and it looks like you're doing really bad. But really, it's not as bad as it looks because they're just quiz grades. A test grade where you have 20 questions makes it a little bit better chances to, every question isn't worth as much. So one question is not worth 33% like it is on a quiz with 3 questions. One question is 33% of your grade. When you have 20 questions, it's only 5% of your grade. So you can afford to miss a few. And so I think that your grades look worse than what they really are. But I am concerned about that. So it's important tonight, as I was telling the girls, if you're struggling in this class and you are waiting until tonight to start studying for the test, then you're not setting yourself up for the best chance to be successful on this test. This test, like any other test, gentlemen, should be something that you've been studying for the last week. A week ago today, I gave you the lesson numbers that this test would be on. And I told you then, a week ago, to take 3 or 4 lessons a night, open up the practice set section of that lesson, and make sure you understand how to do those practice set problems. And if you can do that, then you would do well on tomorrow's test. I don't know how many of you have done that. I'm guessing probably few to none of you have actually done that. But that's what you need to do to be successful if it doesn't come easy for you. Nathaniel is probably going to get an A tomorrow. Nathan probably get an A tomorrow. Will, probably get an A tomorrow. I don't know. Kirby might get an A tomorrow. But, other than that, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee they'll get A's tomorrow. But it comes a little bit easier for them, or maybe they just work harder. Who really knows? You may think, well, I wish I can do as good as they do. Maybe they don't study and it comes natural. Maybe they study. But the point is that, you can't look at how other people do in the class and feel sorry for yourself and say, oh, well, I wish I can do like they could do. There's other things maybe you're better at than they are. Math is not one of them. Math, you just have to work a little bit harder, and that's okay. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean you're a failure. Doesn't mean you're a loser. Doesn't mean you should quit school and sell pencils on the side of the street. Doesn't mean anything. Just means you're not good at math right now. Doesn't even mean you can't be good at math tomorrow. A lot of it, though, guys, is because it's the time you're putting into it. How much time are you putting into your math? That's the question. What are you doing? Because eventually, parents, being in that protective mode that we're all in, and I'm a parent too, I know, is, a lot of times parents, not saying yours do, I'm just saying I know I have, sometimes we want to blame the teacher. We want to blame the school. We want to blame somebody. It's not my precious son. He did good last half of the year. Why is he doing poorly now? Must be something the teacher's doing differently. It just may be the fact that the material is getting harder and I'm not studying hard, Mom. Need to study harder more. Need to put more time into it. So the question I would ask you, and I don't want you to answer, I want you to think about it, is when you're preparing for this test tomorrow, if tonight is the first night that you've spent looking at this information for this test, that isn't the way to study. Especially when I gave you the lessons a week ago. As I said, From this point on, when you have that much of an advantage, an advance notice on what's going to be on a test, guys, break it up into little pieces and look at it every night and own it. Take ownership. It's important that you do well in this class. Some of your parents are wondering why we're not able to review the lessons and do the lesson again tomorrow and the day after that. Saxon's not set up that way. I can't take 2 or 3 days to do a lesson. We won't get done. And if we're not done, you're not going to be ready for math next year. So we've got to stay on task. It does come across a little fast at times. And when those times come, you have to dig a little deeper. You have to come in during lunch. You got to come in early. You got to look at the blog and watch the review class, watch the class again. Ask your parents. Some of the math's not that hard. Your parents take a look at your book. They can help maybe figure it out. Maybe some of your parents can't. Math's not their specialty. But you got to do something. And we're here to help. I'm here before school. I'm here till 3:30 after school. I'm here during lunch all the time. And come in and seek help if you're struggling. But tonight should not be, and so here's my question. How many of you, and don't raise your hand because I don't want to see, but how many of you tonight is going to be the first night you start studying for this test tomorrow? If you're struggling in this class and you're raising your hand, you're one of those people, then that's the reason why maybe you're struggling. You can't study, open your book up for the first time the night before an exam. If it's in a class you don't do very well in. That may be the reasons why you're not doing very well. So, what's done is done for tomorrow's test. Hopefully you'll get through it, right? But for the next test, for the test after tomorrow's test, if you're struggling in this class, say to yourself, I'm going to take a few lessons every night. I'm going to look at the practice set, and I'm going to make sure I understand the problem. And if I do, I'm going to move on. And you're good to go. That's what you have to do. So, with that being said, I hope you're ready for this test tomorrow. I really, really do. I'm concerned that, you're going to dig a hole for yourself. It's going to be very hard to dig out of. So, do study tonight. Do the very best you can. We'll have the review tomorrow during lunch to help you. And let's hope we can get through this. So, today's lesson, Lesson 70, is on volume. And I've taken a liberty to spend a little bit of time talking to you about the value of the way you're studying, like I did with the girls today. Went a little bit longer with the girls probably than I'm doing with you, but that's because this lesson is a lesson we're going to probably revisit on Thursday anyway. So we're kind of breaking it up into 2 days, even though we don't need to. But I can summarize today's lesson with this one equation. And here it goes. And then I'll be done lecturing for the day. Volume equals length times width times height. There, I'm done. Solve the problems. That's it. The lesson's not any harder than that. Because what we're going to have, guys, let me show you what we're going to have. We're going to have a box. Okay, and the box may look something like this. And then let me just try to differentiate. Oh boy. Oh, yuck. Okay, that kind of separates the outline of the box from the cubes. But when we're doing volume, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the length, the width, which is also known as the base. The base is the length and the width, okay? So we can call length and the width base. And then we're talking about the height. This is the length from here to here. This is the width from here to here. And this is the height from here to here. And we're multiplying the width, the length, and the height. And we see the width. How many boxes wide is the width? 2. One box here, one box here. There's 2. So we have 2. So for our width, we have a 2. We're going to have our times here. What about our length? How many boxes do we have? 5. So our length, we're going to have a 5. And for our height, how many boxes do we have? 3. 1, 2, 3, right? So what's 5 times 2 times 3? 30. Or we could have said 2 times 5 times 3, or 3 times 5 times 2. Commutative property of multiplication. Doesn't matter. It's still going to be the same. But we wind up with 30 cubes. Now, if we were to count all these cubes up inside of here, how many do you suppose we would have? If the volume here is 30, how many cubes will we have if they were all they were all the same unit? We'd have 30 of them. Let's see if we do. We said we had 2 over here, right? On this first layer, we have 2 here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 2 in width and 5 long. How many is that in this one layer? We have 10, right? So would you agree that if this were a block, and I were able to slide this block out, the block would look something. I'm going to make it smaller, but the block would look something like this. We said that it's too wide, right? So that designates the width over here, and we said there's 5 in each one, didn't we? Okay, so would this cube right here that I'm going to color in, which had 2 in it, and then had 5 this way, you understand that we can't see the rest of it because it's covered by the rest of these cubes. But it kind of goes back like this, doesn't it? Doesn't it go like this? And then the blocks that are there, they're just being covered up, right? So if I were to pull out this black wedge, it would look like this. How many cubes would there be? There'd be 10, correct? And then I have 10 in this layer, right? Then I would have 10 more in this layer. And then I would have 10 more in this layer. And that layer actually there is also part of this layer. We're seeing that whole layer there. How many do I have? 30. Right? So the volume of this cube is the base, or the length and the width, times the height. The length times the width times the height equals my volume. And my volume is always cubed because we're talking about remember when we had length times width? That was squared because we're talking about 2 units, right? Length and width. Now we got 3, length, width, and height. 3 things cubed. Now it's cubed. So the volume of this box would be 30 units cubed. If they were each centimeters, then it would be 30 cubic centimeters. CCMs, 30 cubic centimeters, or 30 centimeter cubed. Really wouldn't say it that way because it's not really a 30 centimeter cube, but we're talking about cubic centimeters. Make sense? That is the whole lesson. I mean, that's really all there is to today's lesson. The only thing different, the only thing is our book gives us a couple more examples. And hey, Jake, could you do me a favor and grab my book from me on top of the desk there, please? Thank you. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very much. Are you getting this so far? Yes. Good. All right. So look with me, and we got through the entire lesson with the girls today, even though I gave them more of a lecture about their awareness for math, because they're actually doing not quite as good as you are. I think they're doing they're a little behind what you're doing, I think. And I'm concerned about them. I'm concerned about you too, but I just want to challenge you guys to really don't give up on this math. Don't give up on this and think it's too hard for me, I can't do it. I really want you to keep a positive attitude. I really want you to prove to yourself that you can do it. And I'm here to help you with that. But in lesson 70, I'm going to erase this. We have another example. We'll look at the example in the book, guys. We got this rectangle. Kind of looks like this. That's pretty good for me. And it's 3 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and then it's 4 centimeters. Actually, let me erase that. Kind of put it in the wrong spot. I don't want to give you that false illusion. It's 4 centimeters here. Okay? So if I asked you for the volume of this rectangle, what would the answer be? Somebody do it and tell me what the answer would be. 60? Yeah, it would be 60 centimeters cubed, right? 60 centimeters cubed. Now, if we wanted to find out how many 1 centimeter cubes can be placed inside that box, right? We would look at this and we would know that we have 3 boxes high, because each cube we said is 1 centimeter, right? So we have 3 boxes high. Do you agree with that? And then we have 4 boxes long, or the width is 4 boxes long. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of hard to see that 4th one, right? And then we have 5 boxes in length this way. So there's 1, 2, 3, oh wow, 4, and 1 big box. Okay? But what's really hard for this now, it's going to be hard for me to illustrate this, is that we've got these 4 boxes lines going this way, which is going to be almost impossible for me to represent. Yeah, I won't be able to do it. Yeah, but you get the idea. The idea there'd be an extra box there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So if we were to count all these cubes, how many cubes would there be? How many 1 centimeter cubes can we fit in a box that has a volume of 60 centimeters cubed? Josh? 60, right? Because they're each 1 cubic centimeter. So if they're each 1 cubic centimeter, I can fit 60 in there. And if this is easier to count, and the book is easier to count, maybe you should look at the book, you can actually see that in the one layer, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 4. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 20. It gives us 20 in each layer, right? And there's 3 layers, so 20 times 20 times, or 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 60. That make sense? Okay. Is anybody confused with this? Was it easy? Okay. I kind of figured it would be easy. That's why I wanted to kind of challenge you a little bit with, looking at this year the right way, the second half of the year, because I'm really concerned about the way I'm picking up on how we're looking at this as a class. I'm really, really concerned for you. And I taught this last year. I know how the girls struggled the second half of the year. I just want to make sure you don't find yourself in that position. It's really important you come out with this test tomorrow with a good grade, that you do well on it. So please come to the review tomorrow during lunch if you have any concerns. Now, let's look at example 4. Example 4, I really can't draw. I mean, I can try to draw this box, but it's going to be ugly. You promise you won't laugh at me? No, I promise I can't. I promise we won't. I promise that I can't guarantee we won't laugh. Actually, that wasn't too bad, was it? The only thing is this should be a little steeper, I think. Yeah. Now, who asked you? All right. That's pretty. All right. So that's what we got. And then, it's not exactly to scale, but then it's got this dotted line here. Right there. Because what it wants us to do is we know that this is 4 centimeters. Okay. This is 4 centimeters. This is 4 centimeters. This is 4 centimeters. This is 8 centimeters. And so what we have to do is they want to find the volume of this object. Now, we're missing all this space here, right? So we can't just go, 8 by 8 or whatever, 8 by 8 by 4. Nathaniel? I did? What did I miss, buddy? Oh, I did. Thank you. 4 centimeters right here. That's showing us the height, right? That's showing us the height of this one cube right to here, this one object. And then so we see that this 4 here is the same as this 4 here, but then we have another 4, which totals 8, right? We see that? But here's a scenario. We have this object, and let me see if I can scroll this up. We have this object here, and we have to be able to figure out the volume of the entire object. So we're going to break this up into 2 different groups. We're going to have this box here. Okay, all this is going to be box A, and then this box here is going to be box B, right? This is all B, and this is all part of A. This is part of B, this is part of A. So we have these 2 boxes, and we want to find out the length, width, and height of these 2 separate boxes. So box A, we're going to, length, width, and height. Box B, we want length, width, and height. And let's see if we can do that. For box A, what do you think that the base or the length of this here, from here to here, is going to be? It's going to be 4. I'm glad you can see that. So for box A, the length is going to be 4. What about the height? It's also 4. And what about the width? It's 4, right? So we have, what's 4 times 4 times 4? It's 64. Good job. And then for B, what's the length of B? Okay. What's the width of 8? And what's the height of 8? All right. So what's 8 times 4 times 4? 122. How much? It's 128, right? It's 128. Now, don't forget, this is in centimeters cubed. So now what do we have to do? We have one box that's 64 centimeters cubed. We have another box that's 128 centimeters cubed. How do we get the total? We add them. And when we do that, we get 192 centimeters cubed. You understand that? Not so bad, is it? No quiz today. Are we okay with this? Okay. What class are the girls in right now? Miss Welter? Huh? Okay. Okay. Because I'm thinking about canceling tomorrow's test. Yeah. And moving it to Thursday. You guys want to postpone this for a day? Who would rather postpone it for a day? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who wants to take it tomorrow? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh? Nah, we'll just take it tomorrow. Huh? Tomorrow I would spend, if we didn't take the test tomorrow I would spend the day doing the practice set for this lesson and then reviewing for the test. Huh? During Mrs. Walter's class, you said? Mrs. Walter? Hi, sorry to interrupt you. This is Dr. Kravchuk. Could you get a message to the girls for me, please, 7th grade girls? Could you let them know that we're going to postpone the math test tomorrow and have a review for tomorrow during class instead? Oh, we're going to postpone the test for tomorrow and review for tomorrow's for the test tomorrow in class, not the test on Thursday. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt. All right, bye-bye. Man, they're happier than a bunch of chickens in a hen cage. All right. So, all right. Well, I made the girls happy. The guys seem to be kind of in between. Hey, guys, this will work out for the best because what we'll do tomorrow is we'll review. So if you're struggling with this class, I'm just really concerned about you not having a good start on this first test. So I'd rather, you can come in during lunch too tomorrow, but, in case we don't get all 20 questions covered, which we probably won't, let's just go through this to make sure you start out this second half of the year with an A on the test. I really want you to do well on this first test. I really do. Okay, so I know maybe you're already prepared for it tomorrow. Listen, if you absolutely want to take this test tomorrow, I'll let you do that. You can come in and take it, and during the class, you can go to the library or somewhere, leave your math book here, and you can take it. I mean, if you're prepared, I don't want you to feel like, it's messing you up for your studying. But if you're not prepared or you want to look at it some more, so I'll leave it optional. If you're ready to go, by all means, go and take it. And then you won't have to worry about that. Yeah, Nathaniel. Then while they're testing, then I'll have a couple of you back here, and we'll be going over the next lesson. Well, actually, wait, no, because they need to hear that lesson too. So, I guess in a sense, it'll be a bit of a free period for you. No, not a period where you're goofing off. I mean, you'll be doing you'll be studying another class or reading or doing something like that, but it's not that kind of a free period. Huh? Yeah, yeah, it'll be a free period to do homework. We're gonna do the practice set for a few minutes. I'm gonna get some of the practice set done. We have a couple practice sets, and we have today was a short lesson. That's why we had time to to talk about your. I really want to stress to you the value of working hard this second half of the year. I don't want this first test beating you up and beating you in the ground. And I knew today's lesson. I mean, let's face it. Today's lesson, volume, length times width times height, it's a bit of a no-brainer, right? I mean, it's not difficult. One of the easiest lessons we've had in a long time. Nathan, question for review? You would take the test during the class. I would send you to the library or someplace. Well, whenever homework is study for the test. It's practice set plus study for the test. But if we do the practice set now, okay, guys, let's look at the practice set. And tomorrow's test is going to be optional for you. If you want to take it, you can. If you want to review tomorrow during class, we'll review. This was the nice thing about doing well the first half of the year. We were about 2 or 3 classes ahead of where we needed to be, so it gave us 2 or 3 classes this second half to relax, and we can actually take a bit of a day off today from a lesson, do the lesson, but still leave ourselves time for a review tomorrow instead of going into the test. So that was the benefit of working hard the first half of the year. We're still way ahead of where we should be. Okay, so let me erase this information here. And let's go on to the practice set. The practice set shows us that we have a rectangular prism constructed of unit cubes. Its volume is how many unit cubes? Well, let's look at that. We have this prism. And in this prism, we have 3 cubes wide across there. This is going to come down and make 3 more this way, and then we have 4. And we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is our prism. It's made up of unit cubes, and they want to know its volume is how many unit cubes. How many unit cubes? So what do we get for an answer there? Kirby? You mean the width here? Okay. So it's 3 cubes. It's 5 cubes here. 4 cubes here. So for our volume, we're going to take the length times the width times the height. And what is that? What's the length? 5 times the width, which is how many? 3 times the height, which is 4. Oh, it has 6. I'm only showing 5. My bad. Thank you. Thank you. That changes everything. Hold on. We got to change the length to 6, right? Thank you for catching that. All right, what'd you get, Jamie? Cam, what'd you get? What'd you get? What was the first one, Cam? You were right. But now what is the answer, Cam? Uh-uh. Not practice set A. Practice set A. No, it's not. No, it's not. Right there. Practice set A. How do you get 4? There's 3. There's 3. But no. You got the length, right? The width and the height. The length the length is 6, the height is 4, and the width is 3. Yeah, it's wrong. No, you can't count them, Kirby. Yeah. Okay, guys, one more. Kirby, you okay? Are you sure? You know why you're wrong? All right. All right, guys. Practice set B. Find the number of 1 centimeter cubes that can be placed inside a box with dimensions as illustrated. So what they're telling us, let me show you. I'll represent with blue. Okay, there's our box. And it's 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, right? There's our length, there's our width, and there's our height. And they want to know if we're going to put 1 centimeter cubes in that box, how many? I can't even wait to finish my sentence because Cam, I want to hear what your answer is. How many centimeter cubes can I put in there? Oh, you're amazing, Cam. You got it right. Come get some M&Ms, Cam. Come get some M&Ms, Cam. You knew the answer? All right. Did you? All right. Yeah, probably in a minute. Not right now. Hold on. Next one. Let's do one more. We got time for one more. We're doing good. All right, we have another one. All right, guys, that's in feet. What is the volume of that rectangular prism? And it's in feet. Jake. Yes. Come on, Jake. Come on, Jake. Come on, Jake. Just what you need. Sugar. Are you allowed to have M&Ms? All right. That's what I said. What'd you say? Yeah. I thought he said 240. Don't pick on Jake. He's my friend.